Okay, so good morning, everyone. Our topic for today is about the barriers and strategies in communication. So let's check first our learning objectives for today. So at the end of this lesson, it is expected that you first is be able to identify reasons for communication breakdown. Next is classify examples of these barriers and then be able to use the strategies taught to communicate across cultures and avoid communication breakdown. So let's start with knowing what is effective communication. So previously, you might have learned about what is effective communication. So again, to emphasize, effective communication happens when the receiver does not only get the message, but he or she must truly understand it. So listening and hearing the message is not enough. Receiving the message is not enough. There should be an understanding. There should be comprehension as well for you to achieve effective communication within the communication process. So effectively communicating with oneself or other can be hindered because of communication barriers. So previously you've learned about some barriers such as noise and others, right? For instance, internet connection, weak connection, and defective gadgets could be, or headset could be barriers to communication. Okay. And these barriers, however, are not permanent and can be dealt with accordingly. So you can do something about it. Okay. To be able to provide a solution, we must first learn to identify these barriers. So we will learn what are those barriers, and of course, we will find a solution to it. So let's check the first kind of barriers in communication. So we have here language barriers. So English is not our native language. Okay, thus we are called second language learners. So we as Filipinos, we are second language learners, or English is our second language. And in fairness, Filipinos are a lot better in using English language compared to other countries or citizens from other countries. Okay, for them, English is their foreign language because they cannot speak it really well. Okay, so as second language learners, there will be times when misinterpretation happens. This may be caused using terminologies or nuances that are not familiar to us. Okay, so in terms of vocabulary, in terms of terms, words, jargons used in the language, during the process of communication, misinterpretation happens. Okay, so you do not understand such term or jargon or word. So effective communication was not achieved. Okay, so creating confusion between the sender and receiver of the message. So if there is misinterpretation, there is confusion happening, and there is no effective communication. And you need to keep in mind that misinterpretation can also happen even if we use our own native tongue, right? So even if we are speaking Tagalog or Filipino language, our mother tongue, sometimes misinterpretation can still happen. Again, terms or jargons may be the root of this issue. So it is the words, the terms, the jargons that we use uh, that causes sometimes the misinterpretation. Okay, so we are not familiar of the term that was used in the communication. Okay, so those are, or that is language barrier. Another kind of barrier would be psychological barrier. So psychological state of mind can also be a hindrance to the communication process. So how your mind is doing during the communication process, your mindset. Okay, so an example can be when someone is stressed, he or she can be easily irritated and may snap at the people they talk to. Okay, for example, you're talking to your mother in the morning, you're asking if she she had seen your, let's say for example, your uniform, and then your mother is so stressed because of all the household chores that she is doing. So, uh, let's say she yelled at you or shouted because she was angry. She is not in the um, good mindset. So that could be a barrier to effective communication. The combination of the nonverbal and verbal cues may not complement each other, which in turn results to a miscommunication. Okay, so you are just asking politely and then somebody shouted at you because they're not in the good mindset as of the moment. Okay, another example can be when you fear your teacher, especially in face-to-face um, conversation or lessons. Your teacher looks very strict, so you cannot focus because you are afraid. Okay, so your mindset is unstable. And sometimes when teachers tell jokes or playfully tease students, that student may automatically think that he or she is being seriously reprimanded. Okay, so you interpret things differently. And the internal scripting of one's mind can make them worry about real or imagined fears. So because they have this preconceived notion that the teacher is very strict, so you're having some imagined fears in you. So instead of being focused on the lesson, you cannot because of your fear. Okay, so that's psychological. Next would be the physiological barriers. So physiological barriers refer to the physical state of a person. So your body. A receiver who is legally blind may not clearly grasp the whole picture of the conversation because he or she is disadvantaged with a disability that hinders him from reading nonverbal cues coming from the speaker. So if you're talking to a blind person, even if that person can hear you very well, but he or she cannot see your actions, your facial expressions or gestures, sometimes it will hinder that person from totally grasping and totally understanding the message. Okay, so you don't know that the person talking to the blind person is already like smiling or grinning or maybe having a very angry face, okay, or almost want to punch that person. So the legally blind person won't be able to see that, right? Someone who is partially suffering from tinnitus or tinnitus can have a hard time understanding spoken communication because of the ringing in his ears. So this is a condition where the person is having some problem with the ears. So there is a ringing sensation and it hurts, I think. Okay. So they cannot focus, they got distracted with a ringing sensation from their ears. Okay. So that will hinder effective communication too. So your physical state, okay, your physical, your physical or your the state of your body. Next is the physical barriers that refers to the distance maybe, okay, because here it include geographical distance, okay, the distance between you and the person you're talking to. So although calls made through Facebook and Skype can help bridge communication between continents, there are nonverbal cues that cannot be read because of the context of the communication. So for example, you are talking to someone from a distance and you're having a Skype or you're having like, uh, let's say, a Facebook Messenger or FaceTime. You can see them, however, not everything. Okay, so there are some nonverbal cues that you cannot really see. So for example, a person feigning sickness. So person feigning sickness meaning person who is just faking a sickness or just um, yeah, faking his or her sickness so that his mother will not worry, can get away with this because his mom will not be able to assess the physical state and body language of his or her son just from online calls. So her son is really sick, okay, and the mother called And then the voice of the son is really good because he doesn't want his mom to worry. Although, because the mom cannot really touch him, he's having a fever maybe. So the mother won't be able to determine that his son is sick. Okay, because his son is acting like everything is okay for his mom not to worry. Okay, and the mom cannot distinguish that because uh they are from a distance. Okay, so that's physical barriers. Next would be systematic barriers. So this barrier refers to hindrances in the structure and organization where there is inefficient or lack of appropriate information systems or communication channels. Okay, roles and responsibilities may be unclear. Thus, a person may be confused as to what role he plays in the communication process. So this happens, for example, from a work from home uh, situation. Okay, so there might be some lapses in the communication because lack of um, appropriate information. Okay, lack of specific information. Okay, a specific example for this, the boss of a business unit of a multinational company sends an email. So a notification regarding an issue suddenly appeared and she emailed all the teams under her supervision. So there, let's say there are 10 teams under her supervision. She emailed all of them. She asked the status of the certain database, but did not specify which team is responsible in giving the feedback. Okay, she did not. She forgot to mention what team she wanted the update from. Okay, so instead of solving the problem in that instant, it took her whole time one day and a half to resolve the issue because nobody replied to her email because nobody was sure which team is supposed to handle that certain project. Okay, so nobody, because you were not mentioned, so you're assuming, oh, maybe it's not us. Okay, but the thing here should be, if that's the case, you need to reply still. Okay, just to verify, ma'am, which team would you like to have the status from or the update from? Okay, because you need to be proactive. Okay, you don't need to be passive because this is like in a business or in a work situation. Okay, but that really happens. So make sure you need to be specific. Just like you, when you want to ask something, provide your USN, provide your complete name and the specific issue so that it will be addressed accordingly. Okay. Next would be the attitudinal barriers. So conflict from this barrier arises because of poor management, lack of motivation, resistance, or internal or interpersonal conflict. So this is something happening within you. Okay, you don't have motivation, or you are having some conflicts within yourself or with other people because of your attitude, could be. So the attitude of the receiver significantly affects how or she understands the message. Okay, so if you are kind of person which is very strict or very moody or very you're just having some attitude problems, so it might affect how you understands the message from somebody. Okay, another example can be being in a team with a classmate who you think is annoying. So communicating with uh, her may become difficult because there is a high possibility that anything she says to you can be understood in a wrong way. So every time she talks to you, she do it because she wanted to annoy you. So even if she is already asking or saying something serious, you won't take it seriously because you think she is just annoying you. So your preconceived notion of her taints the message she sends to you. Okay? So even if she's asking it in a serious manner, you are thinking it's still just she is doing that just to annoy you. Okay, so you already have like preconceived notions. Okay, so those are some barriers in communication. And of course, there are also strategies in communication that might be helpful for you. Okay, so in any problem, hundreds of solutions can be used to resolve it, just like in the barriers of communication. Now that you have familiarized yourself with the different communication barriers, it is best to apply the following strategies, okay, to be able to cope with the miscommunication or difficulty in communicating, or at best to eliminate or avoid these barriers. Okay, so here are some strategies you can apply to avoid or to listen the barriers of communication. So these are workarounds you can do. First, here is to practice active listening. So listening is a very important skill that one must learn in order to achieve an effective communication. So knowing how to listen attentively and properly enables you to have better relationships with other people and with yourself. So active listening, meaning you are attentively listening. Okay, you are understanding what you're listening. This will help you have a better relationship with other people, especially, for example, you're talking with your friend. Your friend is having a problem. She is sharing it to you, and you are there to listen. Okay? Sometimes you don't need to give advice, you don't need to comment. You just need to listen. Okay? And they will feel good because somebody listened to them. Okay? So it will create a better relationship. When listening to someone talk, clear your mind and focus on the speaker. So do not think of other things, just have focus on the speaker. During this moment, do not think of other things you need to do or think of another topic or person. Okay, focus your attention for that moment to the speaker. Do not do unnecessary things. Do not scroll over your phone or social media. Just focus. Okay. And aside from listening to the message, teach yourself to identify different tones or delivery styles so that you would be able to experience a richer communication exchange. Sometimes the person is saying something, uh, but meaning the other, um, but they wanted to mean different, or like they mean different things. Okay, for example, you're asking, "Oh, how are you? Are you okay?" And the person is, "Yeah, I'm fine." But you can really see that she is not really fine, right? So you need to be attentive as well to those nonverbal cues. Okay, so that's the first one. Next, yeah, as mentioned, pay attention to nonverbal cues. So nonverbal cues give more meaning to the message. So these are the body language, the facial expression, facial tics, and changes in pitch when speaking deepens the communication process. Okay, so you can identify when the person is shouting or when the person is smiling. Okay, so be observant with the nonverbal cues. And always keep in mind that diverse cultures can be different in spoken language as well, nonverbal communication. Okay, always take the initiative to study or learn more about the person or group you are interacting with. So, for example, you will travel to a different country. So, make sure you have enough background about their language and about their cultures. Okay, so for them, it's rude to smile, just like in going to Russia. So it's rude or it's illegal to smile to strangers, right? In Philippines, it's fine. It's very friendly, but there it's not good. Okay, so we share different cultures as well as nonverbal communication. So we should be very sensitive, especially if we go to a different place or interacting with different people from different cultures or from different places. The internet freely gives information about anything, so you can just search. Okay, use it to widen your grasp or on distinct groups and how to communicate effectively. So you can research. It's very easy. Everything is in Google. Okay. Being able to understand the spoken message along with the nonverbal cues can help you gauge on how to respond to the speaker. So if you know, if you have a background, if you're knowledgeable about their culture, about their language, about uh, their nonverbal cues, so or yeah, the nonverbal communication that you're having, you will be able to respond accordingly and correctly in such a way that you will not offend them, that they will not get offended. Okay. So you can act accordingly with them. Next, keep your emotions at bay. Learn to control your emotions. Communication is irreversible, meaning it cannot be undone. Thus, whatever you say or write at the height of anger, fear, sadness, or happiness cannot be taken back. Okay? No matter how you say sorry, how much you say sorry after saying something rude or offensive to someone because you are very angry at that moment, and then you realize, oh, I got carried away with my emotion and I really apologize. Yeah, apology accepted, but you cannot take back the hurt. Okay, always keep your emotions at bay when communicating. So learn to control your emotion. That's one of the most important skill you need to learn. Okay, to control your emotion. Relax and maintain your composure, especially if you're dealing with, if you are at work or if you're at school. So be professional. You need to maintain your composure. Okay, even if you're angry at your coworker. So don't shout, do not cuss, or do not say bad things. Be professional, maintain your composure. Countless instances have been featured on television where someone said something or acted on his or her emotions that causing problems, accidents, or even death. Okay? So some people cannot contain their emotion. They can do uh crime. They can even murder someone because they are angry. Okay? So that is really, really uh bad. Okay? So learn to control your emotion all the time. And harness your emotions when communicating so that you avoid any problems. You will avoid further problems. Okay, so you have this problem and you got your emotion really spike that moment. So you caused again another problem because you slap someone. So that someone file a case against you. So that's another problem because of your emotion. So do not do that. Okay, learn to always control your emotion. And of course, assert yourself. So asserting yourself means you stand up for your thoughts, feelings, and needs in an open and honest way that will not result to disrespecting others or appear demanding or hostile. So asserting yourself, you need to be firm. This is me, this is what I believe, but in a way that won't make you like boastful or hostile or condescending, right? So how can you be assertive without being hostile? So first, always remember that your opinion matters just like everyone else's does. So when you are having or sharing opinions with other people, listen to their opinions. Okay, listen to everyone's opinions. And after that, when it's your turn to talk, share your opinion. Okay, so it's just a matter of respect after all. Okay, you can be assertive and at the same time, uh, have respect for everyone, respect everyone's opinion. But of course, you need to stand up for what you truly believe. I respect or your opinion. However, I believe that. Okay, so it's like that. Okay, know yourself, determine your needs and wants, then learn to express them without stopping undermining the rights of others. Okay, so respect is the key. Respect their opinion so that they will respect yours as well. Learn to express your thoughts and opinions in a respectful way or respectful manner all the time. It's okay to express your emotions as long as you remain respectful. That's it. If you know how to control your emotion, you can show it with respect. Learn how to express negative feelings in a way that will not truly offend the other person or group. So learn positive scripting here. Even if you want to express something negative, learn to say it in a positive manner. Okay? So positive scripting. Accept feedback. Accept compliments. Ask when you need help, and be always grateful to others in addition to learning from your mistakes. So be open minded. Do not think that you are correct all the time. If you do that, you will not learn anything. Okay, learn from your mistakes. If somebody gives you a feedback, accept it and use it to become a better person, to better yourself, right? Accept compliments as well. Say thank you if somebody complimented you. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate your compliment. Or somebody give you a negative feedback or a critic, you can say, I appreciate that one. Okay? I know I have a lot to improve. So thank you for your feedback. Just like that. Don't be so negative. Ah, no, I'm correct because I know this, I know that. Okay? So be open-minded all the time. And know your limits. Be brave enough to say no. Agreeing and saying yes all the time may result to spreading yourself too much, which may affect the quality of your output or feedback. Being firm and clear about what you want is beneficial for all parties as they will know where they stand on issues. So even if you wanted to be kind all the time, learn to say no if it's already beyond your limit. Okay? Because if you cannot really do something, you say no. Okay, I'm really sorry. As much as I would like to help you, but I cannot really help you for now because, and then you explain the reason. Okay, so it's not being unkind. Okay, it's knowing your limit, your capacity, and of course, saving yourself, especially if somebody wants you to do a favor that will later on put you in danger or in conflict. So say no. Okay? Learn when to say yes, learn when to say no. Okay? So assert yourself. So those are the strategies that you can use to have effective communication and to somehow avoid barriers in communication. Okay, thank you so much for listening.